junkies out there, I invite you to spend some time with me. I'm Johnny Allen, and this is the Johnny Allen Podcast Show. Hey, and the show does start now. I am your host, Johnny Allen. This is the Johnny Allen Podcast / Videocast Show, where you can find me on YouTube or Facebook under the same name, Johnny Allen Podcast Show. Welcome to Thursday. It is Thursday, February the 20th, 2020. As I mention every week, time goes fast. And guess what? It's still going fast. Unbelievable how fast the time is going. So today when I got off from the day job, the day gig, as I call it, because I'm a musician, and we call things we have to do to make money gigs. So that's a gig, the day gig. I decided I'd text my wife and said, hey, listen, when you get home, let's go for a walk. And that's exactly what we did. Yesterday we went for a walk. It was really warm, nice, sunny day. It was cool, but it was, not bad for February in the Midwest. And you know what? It's just things like that you got to do, as my wife says, in the now. Do things unplanned sometimes, just spontaneous, just go and do something. And when the weather's nice like that, take advantage of it. I always talk about Sean James and my self-reliance. I really like him. I'll mention some YouTube people here in a minute that I favor, some channels I favor rather. His is one of them. And he just did one yesterday or so. And he says, you know what? He goes, don't spend a lot of time watching these shows. Don't spend a lot of time, watching TV or whatever, because I like to get out, enjoy nature, just get out and do something, Don't be sitting on the butt playing the video games and stuff all the time. And I've said this before, but it's true. I mean, get out and enjoy things. We have to get up. We get to move. That's a secret to longevity. I think it's a secret to a healthy life, and I think it's a secret to just happiness. If you're going through a bad time, which a few of my buddies this week have gone through a bad time, and they know who they are, and we're with you and are praying for you guys out there. And but sometimes as simple as taking something as simple rather as taking a walk really does help. So anyway, how was your Valentine's Day last week? Mine was pretty good. I'll talk a little bit about it real quick. I'll share a little bit with you. Basically, we decided to do Valentine's Day on Saturday because Friday I was busy with the band, and the missus and I discussed that ahead of time, and we decided Saturday would be good. So Saturday morning, we go out, we have a nice breakfast. It was very nice. A little diner that we enjoy, small diner, and really good food. And I love the small diners. I love the small mom and pop kitchens. They're great. But where I'm leading to is for dinner, I did a special dinner, and I did a tuna steak, Mediterranean type of tuna steak recipe with the green olives. And I won't explain the whole recipe, but I'll tell you where I got the recipe. And I'm going to talk about some of these YouTube channels that I really like. So you might want to get your pen and pencil out and write these down. If you like Mediterranean Spanish cooking and that type of thing, I suggest Albert's YouTube channel, which is called Spain on a Fork. That's what it's called, guys, so write it down. Spain on a Fork. He's got over 360-some videos, all these different recipe dishes. He's really good. He's entertaining. And I tell you what, I've tried a couple of his recipes, and both of them are excellent. My wife just raved about how good it was. And I might actually even cook the tuna steak a little longer when it's supposed to have been. I'm learning, But I tell you what, he's excellent. So Spain on a Fork, check out Albert's Station. I highly recommend it. YouTube channel, rather. Check him out. Spain on a Fork. Another one, of course, I just mentioned a couple seconds ago. My Self-Reliance, Sean James. If you haven't heard me before talk about him, he's great. He's got a cabin in the woods on his property. He's kind of a homesteader in Canada, and he's way out in the middle of nowhere. He just moved his wife in. You just have to follow him. It's an interesting guy. It's kind of a laid-back channel. It's not really something super exciting, but if you want to see some nice nature photography, nature videos, his last one he just put out yesterday has an eagle, showing an eagle feeding on a kill that a wolf did. If you like that kind of thing, check out My Self-Reliance, Sean James. Really a nice guy and an excellent channel, especially if you're into the woods and that kind of thing, outdoors and nature. And he has talked about several times about getting up off your butt and doing things, basically. Not his words word for word, but pretty much that's what he said. And I agree with him on that. he's motivated me a lot into doing these projects, even if the weather's bad. Get out there, just being motivated. If you hear that sound up above, I'm not sure if you guys hear it or not. It's an airplane. I live close to an airport, and it's a nice day, sort of, but they're flying a lot, put it that way. So anyway, that's an airplane. Okay, last but not least, I'd like to talk about, but just is kind of different. This is one of the YouTube channels I discovered several years ago and really liked it because I'm kind of a UFO geek and mystery geek and, all this kind of conspiracy geeky. I geek out on conspiracy stuff once in a while. But anyway, the channel is called Secure Team. And there's a young guy named Tyler, and he got over 2 million subscribers. He did really well. Now, what's really weird is his videos all of a sudden just shut down. All of a sudden, he just disappeared. We don't know what happened. Well, he came out with a phone video, talked about how he got accused of doing this and that and the other. It was just kind of weird. And so I'm not sure if he's going to come back or not. But Secure Team was a nice channel, and he had some stuff going on. Now, he claims that he had gotten into, touched some sensitive areas, and that he's getting shut down by these forces of the unknown. Don't know. Have no clue. Have no idea. But anyway, I really liked his channel. Hopefully he can come back. A lot of people are knocking him. When you get a celebrity status, especially like on YouTube, you get a lot of people knocking you when things go south for whatever reason, okay? But we're human. We make mistakes. Things happen. Things do happen that are explained or not explained or whatever. But I do highly recommend, though, Spain on a Fork, Albert's channel. Highly recommend it. He has some really nice recipes. He demonstrates it really easy for you to understand. It's just a great channel. And, of course, Sean James, My Self-Reliance. Okay, going to move down to talking about something I heard actually Sunday, which is very interesting. When it comes to your heart and your personality and what kind of person you are. Okay, so I'm going to ask this question. You guys are probably thinking, what? Comment below on anything I'm talking about today, too, by the way. Feel free to chime in and comment. Okay, the thing is, as a human being, your heart and soul, especially more so maybe your heart, what are you? Are you wax or are you clay? And you're probably thinking, what's he talking about? He's flipped out. What's he talking about? Are you wax or are you clay? Is your heart wax or is your heart clay? And I'll explain this. And actually, this came from an Egyptian philosopher, which I thought was very good. Say you got a ball of wax, right? And you have a ball of clay, right? And you take both of them and you sit them in the sun, the hot baking sun. Now the sun is the same. The sun is shining the same. It's throwing out the same heat on both the wax and the clay. They sit there. The clay melts. The clay. I'm sorry, we'll get that backwards. The wax melts. The clay hardens. So what are you? When your soul shines, when your soul is getting shined upon, does your heart harden or does it melt? Just food for thought. It's interesting. It's interesting. So if you're wax, you melt. If you're clay, you harden. So which are you? Are you wax or are you clay? Does your heart melt when the situation gets kind of hot and steamy and things get hard? No pun intended. When life gets rough, situations get out of hand, does your heart harden or does it melt like wax? Which one are you? I thought that was very interesting. I thought that was really, really cool. Which also leads me to the next thing is like bad breakups. Now, a few of my buddies, a couple of them in particular, have had some hard breakups. And, no breakup is good. Usually they turn out pretty bitter or whatever. But the person who was doing the breaking up initially, and I guess I'm putting this, should you be gentle with the breakup or should you just throw them out of the house? Clothes and all, okay? This has happened to people I know in the past and recently. Just take the clothes and throw them out. I'm just going to throw his stuff out on the front porch and let him suffer. Now, is that really the way we should do things, guys and gals? Whoever's doing it. Is that how we should do it? Should we talk, rethink about things? I know people get caught up in this anger and emotion. I talk about it all the time. Get caught up in these emotions, get caught up in this anger. So-and-so wronged me, so I'm just throwing them out. Throwing them out. And we're human, that's what we think. But you got to think about, too, that is a human being. I think there's other ways of being able to handle it. I just feel like you should think about things like that. If you come into that situation and that scenario where you feel like, I've got to kick this person out, just be really careful and thoughtful how you do it. Make an arrangement. I know you might get mad. So-and-so did this. I'm throwing them out. So-and-so did that. I'm throwing them out. Clothes are on the front porch. They're gone. Boom. Especially someone you've had a relationship with for a long time. Be real careful with doing that. Give them a chance to explain their side. You explain your side. Try to get things back together if you can. If there's no hope, don't just throw them out of the house. There's other ways to do that, guys. I'm not going to get into that, but just think about that. You're messing with a human being. Somebody I know, that I've known for a long time, says, hey, I'm homeless now because I got thrown out. I was saddened to hear that. It's tough. We can do things differently, folks. Have a heart. Like I said, have a heart. Is your heart wax or is it clay? Okay? Which one are you, wax or clay? Think about it. Clay hardens up. Wax melts. Which one are you? Think about that one. And I'm going to talk a little bit again about the respect thing, too. Wow. Before I get into that, though, I'm going to have a little cup of coffee. Get your coffee out if you haven't already. Let's have a drink. Let's see. What's the coffee? She bought a different brand of coffee, and I'm sorry to say I don't even know what it is. But it's pretty good. So we're having a taste of the unknown coffee. Anyway, thanks again for liking and subscribing and listening to me for like 30 minutes. Every Thursday at 7 o'clock, when I talk about everyday life situations. Like, how was your Valentine's Day? We're talking about recipes, our favorite YouTube channels. If you have one, share those. Talk about Sean James. He gets out in any kind of weather. He's constantly working outside. He's enjoying the outdoors. He encourages getting up on your butt and doing something. Spain on the Fork, if you like Spanish, Mediterranean type food. Healthy stuff. Check out Albert Station. It's great. A channel. I always call them stations. To me, I'm old school, but they're channels on YouTube. Spain on the Fork. And then Secure Team. What happened to Tyler, right? Secure Team. He was he's the UFO guy, the conspiracy kind of guy. But I enjoyed his channel. 2 million subscribers. Tyler, gone. Where's he at? What happened to Tyler? Is he really being affected by this shadow government, or is he just making it up because he really got in trouble? We don't know. But I just put my blessings out to Tyler out there and Secure Team right now. So anyway, when we talk about that, we talk about, people having bad breakups. Just don't throw the clothes out on the front porch or on the back porch or whatever. Just don't throw the clothes out and say, see ya, especially if they got a lot of stuff and you've been together for years. Just don't throw things out there and just say, see ya, bye. Let's have some respect for our fellow human beings. Even if they did you wrong, you may have the right to say, okay, I'm dissolving this relationship. And you got to find someplace, but give them a chance to find someplace. Just don't throw them out. That's wrong, people. Just don't do that. Now, on the flip side of that, I have someone who was doing someone a favor, and that person took advantage of that person. Didn't even actually invite him to live there. Just, no, you can hang out for a couple days. The person says, hey, a couple days means I'm a permanent fixture. I can just live here as long as I want. No, you can't do that either. Don't do that. If a person says, you can stay here for a couple days, respect and honor that. You're only going to stay there for a couple days, 2 or 3, week at the tops. Then get your ass out of their house. Don't just sit there and hang around and pretend like it's yours now. Come on, people. Get a grip. Get a grip. Okay? You got those 2 scenarios about, and like I said, I talk about everyday life situations, and these are everyday life situations that people I know are experiencing right around now, okay, at this time period. So let's don't do that. Another thing I like to talk about, too, is, okay, come on. In the morning, you get up and you go to work. Usually people do, especially if they work a day job or whatever, or first thing in the morning when you get up, or when you get up, period, whenever you get out of bed. I kind of like to ease into the morning. I like to ease into my morning. I like to put on that, okay, today's a new day cap, and everything's going to be good. Let's start off a positive, nice day, right? Start off positive. Okay, invariably, sometimes when I go to work, and it's not just me, it's the coworkers, you get to work, and I call them these love notes from the boss, team lead, sometimes coworker. They write you these nice little notes and put them on your computer. And I say that really sarcastically because they're not nice notes at all. They're like, well, you might check into this, you goof this up, you might have goofed that up, you goofed that up. Anyway, it's a negative note. It's a negative thing. They think it's a positive thing, but it's actually a negative thing. No one wants to see negative notes on your computer when you come in the morning. Just a note for the bosses. People don't like that. It's not just me. It's the rest of the people around me that get them. They all get them. We all get them because we're all human. We make a mistake once in a while. They're quick to point it out. Quick to write it up. Throw it on your desk, on your computer. So first thing before you can get your coat off and you get all relaxed, get behind your desk, you go, well, what's this stuff laying on the snow? Oh. It automatically creates a negative vibe for the rest of the day. And you just feel like peeling that coat back on and walking the heck right back out of that place, right? So my advice to supervisors is to watch this, if you do that type of thing, if you cease that, there's other ways to point out an error without throwing it on your desk first thing in the morning. Any comments on that, please comment below. That's my thought on that. And like I said, I'm not the only one. Other people that get them, I call them these little love notes, they hate them. And it puts a whole crew in a bad demeanor. There's been the other day where every single one of us got one. Oh, you did this? So-and-so did this, so-and-so did that, so-and-so that, all over the computers. It's just not a way to do that. There's other ways to handle these things. There's other ways to handle these problems, these hiccups that we get in the road, these emotional things, these emotional hang-ups, the self-pities, the woe was me's, the whiners, and all kinds of these vast emotions that people go through. There's ways to keep them in check, guys. That's what I'm saying. So if you had a bad relationship and a breakup, there's ways of handling the separation if it goes there. If people make a mistake at work, an error, there's proper ways to address that. Not first thing in the morning, right there in your face when you come in. That's not the way you're supposed to do it. If you have a bad breakup, you don't throw the person's clothes out on the front porch. I'm just reviewing all these things, right? If you try to help somebody out and said you can stay here 2 days, if you're the person that was invited in, you don't live there permanently. And when the person asks you to leave, do so. It's called respect, guys. It's called respect all the way around. That whole thing right there is respect. And respecting other people that are around you. We're human beings. Like I say, are you wax or you clay? Think about that. I'm really passionate about that. The more I think about it, I'm real passionate about that stuff. There's ways to handle these scenarios. Okay. That being said, do you belittle somebody or put somebody down to make yourself look good? Well, like in other words, if you make a mistake on the job and a coworker, instead of the coworker saying, oh, they must have missed something, no big deal, I'll fix it. I do it all the time. If one of my coworkers has made a mistake, I look at it and say, oh, here's what they did. I just fix it. I just fix it and move on. It's not like they do it all the time. Or are you one of these people that have to take credit for fixing it? I found the mistake. You made the mistake. And I fixed it. Me. Look at me. They made a mistake. I fixed it. Look at me. Look at me. Are you one of those kind of people? Are you one of those kind of people that, I had to work more today than the other people. And I just, and you know what? I'm going to make them pay for it. The next day, I'm not going to do nothing and let them just do all that. And, especially when your crew's good and they're not intentionally trying to make you work more, but you perceive in your mind that you're working more. Here's the thing with the workplace. It's a team. You're a team. That's what I'm getting at. When you work in an organization and you have several people that work and they're doing the same thing, you work together to, right, do one goal. You're trying to achieve one goal. Okay? You work together as a team to do that, especially like in the NFL or any kind of ball team, NBA, whatever it is, baseball, whatever, sports. If it's a team sport, you work together to win the game. The goal is to win the game, right? You work together to win the game. If you start slamming other people on your team, well, I'm doing more than you are, and you're doing more, and you're not doing yours, and blah, 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 it causes dissension. The big word today, guys, dissension. Causes dissension in the team. And guess what? You usually lose. It's no different at the workplace. Don't cause dissension. Don't cause dissension out there. Work as a team. And if there's a real issue, talk to your team about it. And there's a good way of talking to your team about it. You don't lay notes, negative notes on their computer first thing in the morning when they come in. You guys get where I'm going today with this podcast? Okay? All right. It's just about how to handle situations in a really good way. And I'm not saying you have to be passive and let things go all the time. It doesn't hurt to let things go once in a while. But there's the ways to address situations. That's, at the end of the day, that's what it is. There is a proper way to address a situation that needs addressing. Okay? Whether it be someone overstaying their welcome in your house, whether it be a bad breakup and you decide you're out of here now and I'm throwing your clothes on the front porch, whether it be coworkers causing dissension because they feel like they're doing more than you are, or if you make an error, they're going to point out the error you made and look, I fixed it, and they messed up and I fixed it. Let's don't do that, guys. Come on, think about what you're doing. And at the end of the day, it's karma. If you're one of these people that are causing problems and causing dissension, guess what happens? It's going to come back to backfire on you. So be careful about what you're doing. Okay? These are everyday life situations I talk about. I try to be real fair with my, I call them my people. And they're not really my people, but folks that I have relationships with on a daily basis, or maybe not on a daily basis. Folks that I run into at the store, whatever. I try to be courteous, try to be respectful, that kind of thing. It goes a long way, and I talk about that just about every podcast, but it's true. It's kind of nice to sit back and just find a nice YouTube channel like Spain on a Fork, get a nice dish, go to the store, take your time. If you like cooking, especially cooking up a really nice meal and sharing it with friends or significant other, whatever. Just sit back and enjoying it, not have to get on these heated conversations. Just having a nice meal and relaxing and chilling. And really, that's what life's all about. And if everybody would do that, boy, it would be an easy place to live. Like I've talked about it before, I have a hard time understanding the human mind and how the human mind works and why people think the way they think. Why do you have to do things to make yourself look like the big man or the big woman, whatever, that you're superior to your peers? People actually get off on trying to see other people struggle, which is terrible. It's like, well, when they're down, keep kicking them. That's just a wrong philosophy. I just comment below if you have any chime in on any of these things I'm talking about today. It really does come down to love and respect, guys. I mean, I talk about this a lot, but it's true. And I'm using these everyday life situations because this is what just happened in the last couple of days. I've known two people that I know pretty well. One, unfortunately was the victim of something fell out and ended up closed on the front porch. Another one is loving heart, said, yeah, I'll help you out, friend. Couple days, takes advantage of her. Now I can't hardly get this person to leave. That's wrong. These things are wrong. At work, if you make an error, getting it pointed out to you in a drastic way right there on your computer as soon as you walk in. That's not the time to break then that's not the time to break the news to you, folks. First thing in the morning, hadn't even had a good cup of coffee yet. There's just, like I said today, guys, there's just so many ways for us to rethink, reprogram, rewind, reprogram. Take your time for a minute. Think about the situation. Think about the scenario. Come to a good conclusion. Don't let your emotions override your reasoning. My dad always says that a lot. It's true. Don't let your emotions override your reasoning. Something goes awry. Think about it for a minute. What's the best way I should approach this situation? And if you're on the receiving end of it, or you're whatever, I guess, don't take advantage of situations. Like the person that's taking advantage of staying with the other person. When they've been warned and told 100 times, you can only stay here for a couple days, and you're going to have to go. Person's in there for 6 months. Still not wanting to go. And then they have the audacity to call the police on the person that she's living with and says, hey, listen, this woman is trying to get, no contracts are signed or nothing like that. Come on. Okay, you get my point. You just cannot behave that way. You got these people, unfortunately, in the world that are kind of leeches, that are kind of lost. And that's a shame in itself, and that's another show. But, just don't take advantage of situations. If someone's trying to help you out, be gracious about it. Don't take advantage of it, okay? And when it comes, like I said, to the workplace, it doesn't matter where you're at. Workplace, personal life, whatever. Let's treat people with a little dignity and respect. Ask somebody how their day's going. The manager was doing that for a while. They came in and was going, hey, how's your day? You having a good day? You think you want to talk about in the morning? That's good. That's great. And I even made a joke about it one time. I said, well, this is great. I wonder how long it'll last. And it lasted about, 2 months, and now it's gone. Now it's back to the old ways of, okay, well, I ain't going to say that no more. I'm done with that. And, you made a mistake. Out of 1,000 procedures you did, you made one. You made 2 mistakes out of 1,000. But here, I'm going to shove this on your desk, and first thing in the morning when you come in, and let you read it. Not a good way to start your day, and it's not a good way to start your day with your employees. Just food for thought for the managers. I used to be a manager. I know how that is. I never would do that with my employees. If I had issues with them, I would call them privately in the office and say, hey, here's what's going on. You mind talking about it? And I'd let them have the floor for a while. I'd listen. And I'd say, okay, this is good. Whatever. Analyze it. Wouldn't jump their bones right away or the butt right away. And I'd just say, listen, okay, let's fix that. Let's fix this. And it's cool. We'll have some improvements going. I know we will. And it usually worked. And I also tell my crew, too, if you guys did a nice job at the end of the week, every 2 weeks, payday Fridays, guess what? Dinner's on me. And it's not just like a cheap dinner either. It's kind of like, premier barbecue, stuff like that. Good stuff. Ribs, things like that. I fed my crew well. I just didn't do a little pizza once in a while, I mean, it's nice, but show respect and gratitude to people no matter what it is. That's about it I got today, guys. I hope you have a great weekend. I'm planning on having a nice weekend. Like last week, I said it was kind of tiring. This week was a little bit different for Johnny. Like I said, I observed these things that were going on, and I wanted to share them with you because that's what I do here. I talk about everyday life situations. I share my experiences with you and hope to hear comments and feedback from you guys as well. Thanks for liking and subscribing. I'll see you next week on the Johnny Allen Podcast /Videocast Show. Remember, be good to your neighbors and fellow human beings. Later.